2.3, graph equations of lines.
I didn't do my 2.3 notes and I got so scared. I was like, turning the page. I'm like,
All right, graph the equation, compare the graph with that of y is equal to x. We're not doing that part. We're just graphing them. So, what's happening? Y equals negative x. So, I'm just going to put a few points on each line. So, what is my y-intercept for this one? 0. And slope? -1. So it's going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, or you could go up 1, back 1. Okay, I don't care how many points you do as long as you do a couple. Number 8, y equals negative 3x plus 2. So again, just put a few points on your graph. I mean, if you, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Tick marks, there we go. That's the word I was looking for. This morning I was trying to type and literally everything, I guess my brain wasn't working as fast as my fingers, so everything was spelled wrong as I was typing. I was like, this is so annoying. All right, so what's my y-intercept on this one? 2. And my slope?
-3.
So what does that mean I'm doing?
either going up 3 left 1 or down 3 right 1.
Yep. So up 3, back 1, or down 3 over 1. Um, 12. So there's just a whole bunch of these graphing problems. So I'm just going to do a few of them unless y'all feel like you need to see more than that. 12, y equals 3x minus 4. All right, so y-intercept for this one? -4. And what is my slope doing?
Going up 3 and right 1.
Up 3, right 1, or I could go down 3 and back 1. And 16, f of x, they just use a different notation on this one, but still means the same thing. So f of x is equal to negative 5 over 4 x plus 1. All right, so y-intercept.
1.
And what is my slope doing with this one?
Either left 5 and up 4 or down 4.
The 5 is the up or down.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, remember, it's rise over run. So the 5 is going to tell us that we're going Yeah, you can either go up 5 and back 4 or down 5 and right 4. So we'll just do a point going both ways. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, the next one say to find the x and y intercepts of the line with a given equation. So we're going to come back to graphing in a minute when we kind of put everything together. So 24, we have x minus y equals 4. So do y'all remember how we find the intercepts if we have a problem like this? Yeah, cover up method. So x is going to be equal to what? X is equal to 4. And y is going to be equal to what? Negative 4. And your book's going to actually write like x-intercept and that it's negative, or that it's positive 4, and then y-intercept that it is negative 4. If you don't write intercept and you just write x equals, that's fine.
Can you go back up to number 8 real quick?
Yeah.
I messed it up, that's why.
Oh. Got it, okay. Alright, let's do one more of these and then we'll kind of do a section of putting everything together. So then 28 is 4x minus 5y equals 20. So what is my x-intercept? 5. X-intercept is 5. Y-intercept is? Negative 4. Must like negative 4 for a y-intercept. Alright, so then the next one says to graph the equation and label any intercepts. So, with something like number 32, we have 2x minus 6y equals negative 12. So this one is not in slope-intercept form. So, I can either move stuff around and get it in slope-intercept form, but that's going to end up, well, it just takes more work. I can just find the intercepts like we just did here, and then just graph those two intercepts and connect the points, which I think is a little bit faster. So, what is the x-intercept for this one? Negative 6. And y-intercept?
2.
Is 2. So then, when we graph it, we put a point at negative 6 on the x-axis. We put a point at 2 on the y-axis. And then you can just, well, if I can actually connect the dots, it would be great. Connect the dots. So it's just a little bit of an easier way to graph it. I'm gonna redraw this line because it's irritating me that it's not straight. Good enough. All right. 34. Y equals negative 2. So any idea how I graph this one?
Horizontal line on the
On the
y-axis, or
y-axis, you
on
said?
negative 2?
Yep. So we're going to go to negative 2. have a horizontal line there. And just as a review from yesterday, what kind of slope is that? 0 slope. Let's see, 38. Negative x minus y equals 6. So what method do you want to use to do this one? Do you want to move it, change it to slope-intercept form, or use the intercept, like finding the intercepts and then graph it?
Let's do the second.
Find the intercepts. So what's the x-intercept?
-6.
And y-intercept?
-6.
So then we're going to put a point at -6 on the x-axis and on the y-axis, since they both are -6, and just connect them. All right. Let's see, I have a couple of these out of order. -44, -3 plus x equals 0. So what do I need to do to be able to graph this? Move the 3 over, so x equals -3, or I mean x equals +3. So then, what does this graph look like?
Vertical line at x3 equals.
I just remember because from Algebra 1, the x is like the v, and with the y it's an h.
Alright, and then one last one, 52. We've got 14 minus 3x equals 7y. So what method do y'all want to use for this one?
Could we possibly use both once we switch over, like move the 14 over to the other side, move the 7 over to the left, and then use the cover up?
We could just divide by
You can
7.
do that. Yes, so you can do either. Every problem you can do either, basically. So if you divide by 7, then you're just going to have 2 is going to be your y-intercept, and then your slope is going to be -3 over 7. So you can do it that way, or we can basically swap the 14 and the 7y and then use the cover-up method. Either way is fine. So if you want to use the cover-up, we can do that. I'll show you how to, or here, I'll write the equation for slope-intercept, and then we'll do the cover-up. So option 1 would be to divide by 7, giving us y is equal to, I'm going to just rewrite it in the order like left to right. So -3 over 7x minus, or wait, plus 14. So that would be one option, to put it in slope-intercept form. Option 2 would be the cover-up method of swapping the 14 and the 7y. So I would have -3x minus 7y equals -14.
Would it be for the first one, 2, because we're dividing by 7?
Yes. Thank you. It's very squeaky. Oops. All right, so what are my intercepts then with the cover-up method?
The y is 2. And the, oh, wait, x first, sorry.
You're good. It doesn't matter.
X is 14 thirds.
14 over 3. Now, normally I say just leave things as improper fractions, but to graph it, it's going to be easier to make it a mixed number probably. So what would this be as a mixed number?
4 2/3.
4 2/3. So we've got, let's see, x is at 4 2/3, so close to 5. Y is at 2. So there's your graph. Any questions about graphing, anything like that? Cool. So your problems are, which you still have just literally just shy of 30 minutes. 3, 9, 13, 17, 25, 29, 37, 43, and 47.